Jamaica's cost of living continues to climb as the latest consumer price index for November shows a 1% increase. Rising costs for food, electricity and education are putting pressure on families, with food prices seeing the sharpest jump. Tropical Storm Rafael's impact on agriculture has played a major role, but inflation remains a concern. Ramon has more.
The holidays are here. Hams are secured and sorrel is on the fire. But many families are feeling the pinch as prices climb higher than last year. Jamaica's cost of living rose again in November, with the consumer price index up 1%. Statin points to food prices as the main driver, jumping 2.1%, particularly for vegetables and tubers. That spike follows Tropical Storm Rafael, which dealt a $621 million blow to the agriculture sector.
Despite the shocks happening a couple months ago, there's a lagged effect of those price increases, so those might continue into the new year before they start to temper a little bit with respect to food and ground provisions.
That's economist Keenan Faulkner, who explains that projections indicate inflation will breach the upper limit of the Bank of Jamaica's 4 to 6% target range over the next year before easing.
You'll see a slight uptick, as demand also increases in the economy, more persons are spending. But, as I said, there's a lag effect, so you might start to see a slight uptick, nothing too serious, before it starts to trend down consistently for the rest of 2025.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has acknowledged the cost of living crisis gripping the island. To ease the burden, the government is modernizing the transport sector and slashing the general consumption tax on electricity. Still, inflation remains a concern, standing at 4.3% year-on-year as of November, with food prices seeing the sharpest rise at 6.4%. Here's the Agriculture Minister back in November.
Flood rains from Tropical Storm Rafael have really come at the worst possible time. Again, unfortunately, we've seen some losses to our banana farmers. Our vegetable farmers, 188 hectares have been destroyed, affected about 1,640 farmers, and legumes, about 38 hectares that have lost about $2.8 million in losses.
Those losses explain the price hikes, but they should stabilize in the coming months, barring any unexpected shocks, of course.
If we want to be able to protect the most vulnerable in society, then tackling inflation has to continue to be the mandate, and building resilience and increasing buffers in terms of climate action is always the best way to go in terms of mitigation, adaptation. That particularly applies to agriculture, water, land, and the environment. So if we can somehow build in those buffers into our agricultural practices, then the shocks will eventually lessen over time.
And while the government promises relief, for some, it can't come soon enough. Ramon for CVM News.